Alright guys, welcome back to Raid Shadow Legends with Mediocre Gamer Man. Today, I know it's been a while, but we're just going to kind of get right back into the flow of it, and we're going to talk about the fusion, Underpriest Brogni, and if you can't get Brogni, the champion I think you should go after. And my opinion on that is a little bit different than a lot of other people's. Then again, the champion that I think you should go after is probably one that if you get him, you're probably going to be able to get Brogni, but that's neither here nor there. So first and foremost, this guy looks awesome. When I first saw him, if it wasn't for this, if he was like using a hammer, I would have kind of thought of a D&D character. But I love the look because it's the gems and stuff, like the way they've done. The dwarves. I really like the look of all of their champions. They're all very gem miner. They have this. They have this look of, I guess, wealth. Because dwarves. And depending on which mythology you subscribe to, in this case, they're all like miners and they love gems of the earth and they like wealth and money and gold and all that kind of stuff. So I love the way he looks. He looks about as powerful as he is, actually. But is he worth the effort of going through this fusion? Yeah, I think he is. I know a lot of people have complained because he's so hard to get, but at the end of the day, I think that this guy, he's so much more powerful than some of the other fusions that we've gone for. There's some like Iron Brago, Rhodos, Astralon that have been really great champions. But I think this is the first one in a while, since maybe Rotos, that really is. His kit is so game changing that not getting him, I think, is going to slow down your progression. If you're mid game, because I think he's going to start becoming the new meta. For a lot of things. I don't know if you're gonna see him a lot in arena. But I would say he's definitely got a place on a lot of teams in a lot of places. You may actually see him in arena. And he would be a beast to deal with in arena. Because the shield can't be removed. Let's go ahead and talk about his kit. And I'm going to talk to you about why I think he's so powerful. And the shortcomings that I think he has. I need to look into it a little bit more. Once I get him, we'll kind of go over that. But first and foremost, Deep Crystal Scourge. Attacks one enemy. There's a 45% chance of placing an HP burn debuff for 2 turns. HP burn is one of the best ways, of course, everybody knows to beat Spider. It's a great debuff to put on just about anything. The clan boss and dragons, and you have to have it for the Frost Spider when Agrath comes back around. And she will. I mean, that's how it's going to work. It's a 60% chance when booked, which means you got a fairly decent chance of landing it. And it's not the best, but, if that's your only source of HP burn, you're probably still going to land it enough that, it's fine. Plus, you can get somebody that does decrease extension. It's an HP burn for 2 turns. It's on his A1s. That means he's going to hit it often enough. Cavern's Grasp is A2. Attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of removing 1 random buff from all enemies, and has a 75% chance of removing 1 random debuff from all allies. Increases the value of shield buffs on all allies by 30% of the damage inflicted. This goes up to a 100% chance and drops to a 3-turn cooldown when, once booked. The thing about this that I think is so impressive is the increases value. Everybody's been talking about it. No other champion has an increased value of a shield. They have a shield extension or a buff extension, but they don't have, a shield additive, a shield addition buff, I think is how I want to word this. But removing the 1 random buff is really awesome because it can get rid of shields, it can get rid of unkillable, get rid of block damage, get rid of perfect veil. Really useful. Especially at 100% chance. If he's got enough accuracy, it lands. I mean, he's just weaken the enemy team. Buff removal. I mean, look at Madame Ceres. The reason why she's so powerful is she removes all buffs and then puts on 2 of the strongest debuffs. So this guy has part of that, and that is really awesome. Plus, he can remove random debuffs. So if, let's say, he's the one that's not stunned, he removes all the stuns. He removes all the freeze, the sleep, the decreased defense. He removes the poison that just got landed, or one of them anyway. And then he increases shield buffs by the 30% damage. If he's like Miscreant Monster, it's going to be a pretty impressive bonus. And then you've got his A3, which is where he puts the shield. Places a block debuffs. So, I mean, you can't go wrong there. One of the best buffs out there, especially for current Doom Tower content and such, and for like spiders and stuff. 50% increased attack on all allies. He's an attack-based champ. Also places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns equal to 30% of this champion's max HP. Got a decent HP, so he's really going to be able to put a good shield on people. And the shield buff cannot be removed, which means the Griffin can't remove it. It means Madame Ceres can't remove it. So I think I retract previous statement. You're going to see him in Arena because he's going to be a Madame Ceres killer. Because he's going to place a block debuff if he goes first. And I think a lot of people are going to build this guy because he's got a decent speed. So you do a double speed, Arbiter into like, I can't think, Apothecary is pretty common. Gorgorab into Apothecary. Have this guy go next. He's going to place a block debuffs, 50% increase attack, place that shield. Shield can't be removed. And then with that increased attack, you got an attack-based nuke, which is a good chunk of the nukers out there. He's just going to slam them down. And if you get the person going before him, if you can say, get your Arbiter or your Haikatoon or whoever to a high enough speed that you only have 1 speed, you can put like decrease attack, decrease defense on. I mean, that's the perfect setup. Gosh, my eyes. I'm not used to the lights. I got some lights that are helping me out now. I've actually put in the money to get them, and they're really bright. And then his passive. Whenever an ally under a shield buff is attacked, reflects 25% of the damage inflicted. Nice. So basically a quarter of the damage against you is no longer valid. It literally is hurting the team, the enemy. Also heals that ally by 25% of the damage inflicted on the shield. So what does this mean? 25% of the damage is lost. Another 25% just heals you. So let's say you get hit hard enough that it knocks your shield out. Well, then it's also got to hit hard enough that it's doing enough damage to negate that 25% that's healing you. Most of them aren't going to be able to if that shield's big enough. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there. If you get his HP high enough and his defense high enough, which his defense is already pretty good, it's not the best for a legendary, but it's still fairly high. And anybody else who's on your team, they're going to be able to hold so much damage and then heal, even if that shield gets knocked down. It's going to take some serious nukers to get past his shield. And I really think that this is going to be a lot more overpowered than I think people realize, because the shield buff can't be removed. And so as long as that shield's up, which arena battles are short, and that shield's big enough, nobody's going to get through it. And then he's going to use A2 to remove a random buff, remove a random debuff, and increase the value of the shield. If he hits hard enough, that's one and done there. You can't get past the shield because that's why I think he is definitely worth the effort of this event. Does he have a shortcoming? He has one. There is one thing that you can look for to kind of get past him. If you can out-survive his shield, because his shield is only for 2 turns. He doesn't extend the amount of time it's on. He just increases the value of it, which means, and it's on a 3-turn cooldown once booked. So it means 1 turn he loses his shield. So you're going to have to survive out until that shield goes. However, if you have him and you're worried about that, just get yourself a buff extender. And if you're early to mid game and you've, pushed a little bit or wailed a little bit to get this, even if you're low spending, you want somebody that'll do it for cheap and easy? Valerie. A2. Increase the duration of all buffs on all allies by 1 turn, 3 turn cooldown. Meaning, every 3 turns, she's extending that shield. Shield cannot be removed. Gets increased by his A2. And she also decreases the duration of all debuffs on all allies by 1 turn. On top of the fact he's removing one. So usually with these two, you've got a shield that she can keep up permanently. Because he's going to have that 3-turn cooldown. He's going to put a new shield on every 3 turns. And she's going to keep it on for 3 turns. So if that's where you're having an issue, free champion. She's really easy to get. Just farmer and campaign stage. And the I think it's Carrot Castle is the first one. Carrot Castle. See? She's right there. Farmer, get her, book her. It's really easy to book. She's a little bit of a pain to farm. A lot of people say they have a hard time getting her, but such is life. There's other buff extenders out there, but she's the easiest for you to get as a free-to-play. I mean, really, that's going to take care of that one shortcoming that Brogni has. The one. Okay, so on to the mystery champ. So, like I said, there's one champion I think that if you can't get Brogni, you need to go for. And everybody says, you need to get Mordecai. I like Mordecai. I think Mordecai is fantastic. If you can get Mordecai, you can probably get this guy. If you can get this guy, you're probably going to get Mordecai. Because they're walled in the same way. Both of them require you to do the Summon Rush and the Champion Chase. So, Skimfos the Consumed. I haven't really heard a lot of people talking about this guy. And I remember... Hold on one second. I need to get a drink. So I haven't heard a lot of people talking about this guy, and it's kind of got me confused. Because I don't think people understand what his kit does. And it's the same with things like Vergamcar, and there's some other champions out there that have these like confusing kits. Like, what's the one I'm thinking of? She was the Fusion champion, the Cantor the Cyclone. They've got kits that seem kind of confusing, and it takes a little bit of like thinking. But his kit's really impressive for... It's neat. Like, he's not a champion you're going to use on every single team. But for some of the harder content, spiders, Nether Spider, you've got... hold on, I'm trying to think. I had it in my head a second ago. Spider, Nether Spider, dragons. Ice Golem, you could kind of use him. No, because nothing places any kind of debuffs he could deal with. But dragons, Nether Spider, and the regular Spider. Everybody says Mordecai for Spider. But I think this guy, outside of HP burn, he doesn't have the HP burn. But I think what he does for Spider is so unique. And he's useful not just in Spider, but he's useful in Spider, like I said, Nether Spider, dragons, anywhere that debuffs. Attacks one enemy 2 times. First hit has a 35% chance of placing a decreased speed, 30% decreased speed, which is a great debuff. The second hit has a 35% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 10%. So how does this work? Curse Feeder. Attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance, 100 when booked, on a 3-turn cooldown, of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. After attacking, transfers all debuffs except these ones that everybody says is, they're all the important ones. You're right. These are the crowd control ones that aggravate everybody. But he transfers all debuffs from all allies to this champion. All the poisons, all the decreased speeds, the decreased attack, decreased defense, the ones that stop your team from doing damage, or from damaging your team. He transfers it all to him. Now, I know you're saying, well, he's going to transfer all those poisons on the Nether Spider or on the Spider. Like, what happens if he transfers all the poisons that your Spider tank's getting to himself? Well, that's going to kill him in 1 turn. You got, 10 poisons is 50% of his health. Well, he's he's got this. His passive. Heals his champion by 5% of their HP, the amount that a poison does, for each debuff on them at the start of each turn. If this champion is under 4 or more debuffs at the start of the turn, but it's a 50% increase attack and a 30% increase crit damage buff on this champion for 2 turns. Well, that's awesome. Transfers all debuffs from this champion to a target enemy, then attacks the target. Steals 100% of the target's turn meter if this attack is critical. I take it back. I don't think I'd be able to use him on the Griffin just because of this. But Spider and Nether Spider, he's going to be an absolute beast. And the reason is he can't take damage from poisons at all. So all those poisons he's going to pull into himself. I guess I misthought about this turn meter when I was thinking about the Griffin. Because the turn meter is something that gets me in Griffin too. And I just, for whatever reason, it just didn't occur to me. But for Spiders, along with Mordecai, and I think if you get both of them, you can't get the other champions because you just don't have the resources to get them. But you can get Skimfos and Mordecai. You've beaten Spiders. Mordecai puts all that HP burn on. No matter who your tank is, he's going to pull all those poisons off. When his turn comes around, he's going to heal himself by 50% of his HP. Whatever poisons are on him are going to be negated by that. And then he's going to place all those poisons on a target enemy and still 100% of their turn meter. That means he will place, if you take all those poisons from all of your team, put them on him, let's just say it's like 6 or 7. Well, he's going to heal for that amount. He's going to transfer all those debuffs to the Spider because that's who he's going to attack, hopefully. Because most single targets attack the Spider. And then he's putting all those debuffs on there and steals 100% of their turn meter if the attack is critical. He puts all the debuffs first, and then he hits, and then he steals turn meter. So he basically depletes the entirety of the turn meter of that Spider, and then he goes. So, and then he can go with this. If he does this, I think that's going to be kind of silly. But I think he'll do this, and then he'll move into this one, and then he'll do that. So he's getting an extra attack to place another decreased speed and a second hit to decrease their turn meter. Which means if the Spider gets, he's going to steal 100%. So this is kind of silly. The second hit is. But really, that decreased speed. I mean, I want you to think about this in terms of the Spider and Nether Spider. Let's forget about Griffin because that was my mistake. The Spider and Nether Spider, he's going to basically take all those debuffs, put them back on them, and just kind of wave at them and then hit them. And then hit them again. And then they're not going to have any turn meter, so everybody else is going to hit them again. And then, in 3 turns, he's going to do that all over again if they survive long enough. He may not hit as hard. I think his multipliers aren't as great as they could be. But honestly, that's not even the point. This right here, where he steals that 100% turn meter and puts all those debuffs. Let's just say the enemy put decreased speed, decreased attack, put on you decrease defense, all those poisons, and you put it back. He's basically smacking them. Then you got somebody like, let's say you got Draco. No, not everybody's got a Draco, but Draco's going to be hitting so much harder because of that, because he gets that bonus to damage. So he creates some very interesting situations that can be very useful. Hold on. And I also thought about something. I wonder, he does it after attacking. Oh, to himself. Hold on. He transfers all debuffs and then attacks. You could use him with like Gurk-Tuk, but that won't work because he transfers all those. But then again, with Gurk-Tuk, he could be used to transfer all those poisons. Every 3 turns, take all those poisons off, transfer them out. I mean, it could work. There's some niche ways to work him. I'm sorry, I'm spinning him around. I'm just thinking. I guess maybe he's not as powerful as I thought because you can't use him on the Griffin. But for Spider and Nether Spider, everybody's talking about Mordecai, but that guy has some serious potential to make those runs a lot easier. And any runs where you're having issues with a lot of debuffs hitting your team, he's able to take them in, heal from them, and then put them back. Build them with enough accuracy. You can use them in arena too, if you go sack it, stuff like that, especially if you're using Brogni. I mean, really, I think he's got a lot more potential than people have given him credit for. So, but that's my 2 cents. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I know it's kind of rambling a little bit. I'm trying to get back into the YouTube frame of mind. I am going to start streaming again Wednesdays, which this video will drop on Thursday. So I should have just streamed yesterday. And it's going to be, I'll start doing streams where I'm just kind of, building up different accounts or my different accounts and stuff. But hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe down below. Tell me what kind of content you want to see, and I will see y'all again soon. Thank y'all so much, and take care.